Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 2nd of May. Today we got a lot of very interesting news and a lot of very interesting updates on the maps. And first of all, I would like to start from the Kharkiv area. This is one of the most important areas in this conflict, in this special operation. And first of all, I would like to start from the town by the name Ruska Lazovaya. According to this map and according to the news that we got from Ukrainian sources, they said that they established control over this town. But if we take a look on the Russian side map, we see that this town is still on the Russians. This one. The only one thing that Russian confirmed that you see that from yesterday they draw one line, these gray dots. You see that now this town is under between these two gray lines. That means that Ruska Lazovaya is now in like something like gray zone. So Russians they didn't confirm that this town is under Ukrainians, but they can't say that this town is totally under their control. So this town, we can say that this town is in the gray zone. That means that for example, what does it mean gray zone? That means that the heavy clashes are there right now, and sometimes this town is under Russian. But it might be like by the evening Ukrainians return control over this town, and by the next morning there is a chance that Russians can return the control over this town again. Also, Russian sources said that they established control over those two towns, Makarova and Turova. They did this because of that fact that maybe they might lose this town, Ruska Lazovaya. Now they need to increase and enforce their foothold in this area. So that's why they established total control over these two towns. For example, if you take a look at this map, you see that these towns are also under the Russians, but not total towns under Russian, just a part. But Russians said that they established control over all these towns. So we'll see what's next. Another important town in this area is Tsirkuny and Cherkassky Tishki. As you see, according to this map, the West source map says that these towns also under Ukrainians' control. But Russian sources map, they're saying that this town is totally under their control, and like there is no doubt about even a gray zone. So we'll see what's next. But one more important update. I got very interesting map from other source. This source is very connected to the front lines, to the soldiers in this area, to the press in this area, and this is the map. And as far as you can see, this map shows also very interesting situation. And today we will discuss three maps: the West source map, the Russian source map, and this map. Map shows the situation in the east of Ukraine by the end of the 1st of May. So we can say like by this morning. And if you see, this is the area in the north, in the Kharkiv area, and as you see, they're saying that yes, there is some icon that says that in Russia Lazovaya is the town where the heavy clashes are, and that there are a lot of that this town in the gray zone, and two parties are fighting for this town. And as you see, town Tsirkuny, they're saying that this town is totally under Russian control. And it's very important update because this map shows that Tsirkuny is under Ukrainian control. Maybe they established control a day ago, or maybe there is some disinformation. So we'll see what's next. But I investigate this map. I tried to find a lot of information from many sources, and my opinion, of course, I wasn't there. I didn't see everything with my own eyes. But my opinion is that Tsirkuny is under Russians. This town. So we can color this for better understanding of the situation. So this area is under Russian, and Ruska Lazovaya is the territory of the heavy clashes and gray zone. So we can call it established like this. So this area is on. So both parties are fighting for this area, but I'm not sure if Russians will try to hold this territory. Of course, it's very important territory. There is a river here, and it's a very nice place to protect. But as far as I see it, and as I understand, now they're trying to increase their foothold in this area, so to prepare themselves they're trying to prepare another defense line in this area, another fortified area. Now we're moving to the south in direction of Lyman. one of the most important and one of the it's the key region. I can say that in this chapter of this conflict, this is the key area of the Donbas arc operation. And this map is not updated. At least the West sources, they're not running to update this map very fast. So we have a lot of information from other maps, from the Russian sources map, from those two maps, and I'll try to explain to you what is going on there according to the Russian sources, according to their information, according to their updates. First of all, the most important part, and we can see this on this map. This is it. Russians established control over town Yempil. This is it. On this map, this town is in the gray zone. In the right corner, you can see the battles in the Lyman area in more detailed way. It's according to the source, according to information, the last updates on the evening on the 1st of May. So we can say like on today's morning. So you see that Russians, they took down Lyman. So you can see that Russians took town Yampel and took town Stavki and took town Alexandrovka. This is very important towns, and because of that fact that they managed to take Yampel, let's move to our main map. This is the Yampel. Because of the fact that they was able to take town Yampel, so let's mark this Yampel. They managed to attack Ukrainian forces in Lyman from the back. We can say from the west-south area. So Russians, they attack from town Yampil these days. They attack there and establish control over this triangle of this road. If you remember, Ukrainian forces, they blown the railroad bridge. Russians established control over this triangle, over this road triangle, according to their sources. So let's mark it for better understanding. And they established their first block post in this area. And we can say that the active phase of battle for Lyman has been started. The town by the name Dibrova and Ozerna now is in the gray zone. That means that the most heaviest clashes are here. Ukrainians, nobody control this town, so like sabotage groups are working here, tanks, artillery, and so on. Also, according to the Russian source map, as I told you, as I show it here, they took town Alexandrovka, and they took town by the name Stavki. This is Stavki, so let's mark this for better understanding of the picture. Now we can say that the Russians attacks Lyman from the southeast, and they're attacking Lyman from the north. And you see that there is just 5 kilometers between the Russians in this area and Lyman. Also, Russian sources, they're saying that they take town Alexandrovka. And this is a very important town. But I think that if they take down Alexandrovka, we can say that they're also controlling towns on the north from this area, to the north of this area. This area is a small cauldron we were talking about a few videos ago. Around 1,000 soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers, they are here in a small cauldron. And as far as I know, as far as I understand, they're not planning to surrender, at least for now. But we'll see what's next. Now, Ukrainian sources and Russian sources, they confirmed that that the front line today, Ukrainian front line today, looks as follows. This is the main line where the most heavy clashes are. It's a forest, and it's very difficult to fight there for both parties. And I think that Ukrainians, they have benefits here because this territory was prepared by them for such kind of war, such kind of combat in these forests. And Russians, they're not prepared because they don't know the place, they don't know this forest, but they're pushing. And Svetogorsk, as far as I understand for now, Svetogorsk now is the most important town in this area, not even Lyman, mainly because that today we got information that Ukrainians, they blown the bridge, this bridge right in the south of Lyman. I told you that a minute ago that Russians, they establish control over this triangle, and one of the road leads to this bridge. This is the bridge. So So Ukrainians, they decided not to play with Russians, and they destroyed this bridge. That means that there are few ways how to support this area from Ukrainian side, and as I see from the map, this is the only area where Ukrainians have possibility to support this area with reinforcements, ammunition, shells, and so on. So that means that Lyman, at least now, is not the heart of this area. The heart of this area is located somewhere here. So Russians, they're pushing, and I think that by the end of this week, by the 9th of May, they will be able to take control over Lyman, and they will try to establish control over Dibrovna and Ozerna, which will allow them to get to this river, Severodonetsk, and as I told you before, then they will be able to start their operation to build pontoon bridges in this area and to move in direction of town Seversk. But it will be like in a week or maybe even in 2 weeks. So you see about updates on this map. So the battle for Lyman, I'll repeat myself, has begun. Now let's move to Izum area, to this territory. We discussed a lot about this forest. I told you that according to this map, the West map says that this forest is under the Russians, and the Russians, they're saying that this forest is not under their control. They're marking some gray lines showing that this territory is under territory of main clashes, that there are a lot of sabotage groups and so on. And today, so Ukrainians start to prepare their very powerful feast on the line of Petrovsk, Zavgorodny, and Protopivka. So the main idea, let's take a look on this map. These towns established in these lines. So this is the towns. So let's mark this like something like a front line. Ukrainians, they thrown here a lot of forces, and as I know, they established at least 3 pontoon bridges in this area. So we can say that Ukrainian forces, they were planning to attack Russians in the back from this forest, right in direction of Izum, right in direction of Russian back in this foothold. But as I know, according to the Russian source information, they said that these bridges were spotted and they were destroyed by artillery and aircraft attacks. Also, there was a piece of news that 2 Ukrainian aircraft were destroyed in this area. So there were very heavy clashes here. But even though these bridges were destroyed, these pontoon bridges were destroyed, Ukrainians, they are still collecting here a very powerful feast. So they're preparing themselves to protect this area from this side. So as I told you before, a few videos ago, Russians now they're fighting in the town Velika Kamyshovacha in this area, and after they are able to take this town, they will move in direction of Gushuvacha. And the main idea of Russians to establish connection between this town along this road with Balakleya. And Ukrainians, they, as far as I see, they understood this plan, and now they're preparing here a very powerful feast. They established a lot of forces in these towns, and they're preparing themselves for a big battle in this area. So we'll see what's next. Another very important news came today from this area, from Lysychansk agglomeration. And I also compared this map with two other maps. For example, this Russian sources map, it's public map. This map show us that more than half of Rubizhno is under total Russian control. You see this, like, and another half of this town is like in the gray zone. So we can say that it's this territory, but because of that fact that Ukrainian forces is located on the other side of this river, so we can say that Russians, they're clearing this territory from the Ukrainians. Of course, there are still a lot of small groups of Ukrainians which hide in downs, in buildings, and so on. A few days ago, there was information that Russian cleared this industrial zone, but this map is not updated. Severodonetsk is still stands, and Ukrainians control this territory totally for 100%. And the most important news and most important updates regarding this town, Barivske and Voronovy. As you can see, Russian sources map, they're saying that this town is also under Ukrainians' control. This map shows the same, but this map, which were updated on the yesterday evening, on the 1st of May evening, so also like on the 2nd of May morning, you see this area, this town Rubizhnoye and this town Borovskoye. So according to this map, we can say that and either Rubizhnoye and Borovskoye under Russian control. And if it's true, then we can say that Ukrainians, they have a lot of problems here. Just let's update this map according to this last piece of news. I'm not saying that it's true, but if it's true, we will see that this map, both of this map will be updated in a few days, because as if this map said that these towns are under Russians, that means that sooner or later both sides, both parties will confirm this information, because it won't be able to hide this information. But to tell the truth, I believe this map was published by a very famous and very famous source, and I'm not sure, I don't think that they're lying. Of course, there may be some kind of propaganda and so on, and sometimes you want to show something that you want to see, but not the reality. But to tell the truth, I believe this map. Of course, it's up to you to believe or not, but let's just update our map according to information we have. And we'll see in a few days what's going to be next. What's next? So, according to that map I showed you before, Russians also established control over this territory. So now, according to today's information, Ukrainians, they have control just only the Severodonetsk. So we'll see what's next. Now we're moving to the south, to the Zolotoye area. If you remember, a few days ago, Russians, they established control. First, they established control over the block post number 29, then over the Novotashkovsk, and by the end of this of the 1st of May, by the beginning of the 2nd of May, Russians, they established control over the suburbs of the town Orekhovo. So let's update. So you see that they managed to take this small part, and now they're moving in direction from this from the southeast of Orekhovo in direction to the northwest. In this direction, they're trying to take control over the Orekhovo. And the same situation we can say about Zolotoye. Also, Russians, they're moving from this area in this direction, and according to the latest information, the most freshest, according to the latest information, Russians said that they established control more than like 50% of this small area on the east. So Russians took control over this territory, and they're pushing forward. The main idea to reach this river. I'm not sure if they're planning to move further, if it's possible, but they're moving in this direction. Another updates, important updates regarding Popasna. We discussed Popasna many times. Russians, they have real problems in this area. This is the industrial zone. This is the big floor buildings, and it's a very nice position for Ukrainians to establish their eyes, and they're correcting and controlling the movements of Russia in this, we can say, village type buildings. And so Russians decided, as I told you before, to move in direction in the south of this town, in direction from the east to the west. And according to the latest information I got, Russians, they established control, we can say, like over this territory. So the main idea, as we discussed in the previous videos, is to attack here and then move to the north. And as soon as they get here, we can say that Popasna, we can start counting days when Popasna will fall. Another important update came today from Avdiivka area, from this area. If you remember, this is very fortified area, and there are lots of, you see that, trenches and lots of, it's very powerful fortified area. But as I know, Russians, they managed to attack town Novosilovka from this gray zone, and they managed to establish control in these suburbs. So they're moving from here in direction of north, and they established control over the suburbs. And something tells me that if Russians manage to establish control over the suburbs, that means that we can start counting days when they will take control over the entire town. Of course, their movement is not so fast. We see that they're moving very slowly, but they're trying to save their people, their soldiers. We can understand that. But we'll see what next. Now, the very important news today came from the USA. At least I saw the pictures how the US forces they are dropping their forces, their 155 millimeters artillery system indirect to Ukraine, and all of the sources, all of the Russian publics, they're asking one question. For example, if we're talking about this area, I told you in the very beginning of this video that Ukrainians, they're preparing feast. For example, they're thrown here in direction of town Lozovaya. This area, this is, as you remember, this is a very big railway station. They throw here their artillery, heavy artillery systems, and all these movements, all these regrouping Ukrainians do using these bridges over this river. And Russian publics, they're asking themselves why Russians still haven't destroyed these bridges. What's going on? Why do Russian allows Ukrainians to use these bridges for regrouping? And this is a very interesting question. Of course, I would like to hear your opinion. Why are they doing this? Why? Because, for example, today, from this morning, we got the news that Russian did third strike in direction of this bridge. You remember this bridge? This is the bridge that connects Romania with Odessa region. This is railroad bridge, and there was two strikes in during the previous week, and today Russia did the third strike, and this bridge was totally destroyed. So for now there is no way to use this bridge. So the question is why Russian doesn't do the same in this area with these bridges and these bridges. Of course, there are many versions and many options why they aren't doing this. For example, I think my opinion that Russians, they are waiting the West support. I think that they are waiting. For example, if the Russians don't destroy these bridges, that means that the West countries will be able to use this railroad for support. So that's why they will build a convoy using the railroad, and then they will push this railroad. They will start their movement in direction of the Donbas using these railroads. And in this case, Russia will be able to attack these convoys, these railroad trains, and they will be able to destroy them, maybe even on these bridges. I don't know, but for now they're not destroying them. And this is a very big question, not just for us, but for entire Russian source segment of interest. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel and enjoy your week. Bye bye.